Blast off into the ultimate space trivia challenge. 100 questions across 5. Round 1. The solar system. Planets, the sun, and... Question number 1. Which planet is closest to the sun? The answer is Mercury. Fun fact. Mercury races around the sun in just 88 days. Question number 2. Which is the largest planet in our solar system? The answer is Jupiter. Fun fact. Jupiter is so big that all other planets could fit inside it. Question number 3. Which planet is famous for its bright system of rings? The answer is Saturn. Fun fact, Saturn's rings are made mostly of ice and rock. Question number 4. Which planet is known as the Red Planet? The answer is Mars. Fun fact, iron oxide, rust, gives Mars its reddish color. Question number 5. How many planets are in our solar system? The answer is 8. Fun fact, Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006. Question number 6. Which planet is the hottest in the solar system? The answer is Venus. Fun fact, a thick CO2 atmosphere traps heat, making Venus hotter than Mercury. Question number 7. What is at the center of our solar system? The answer is the sun. Fun fact, everything orbits the sun's immense gravity. Question number 8. Which planet do we live on? The answer is Earth. Fun fact, Earth is the only known planet with life. Question number 9. Which is the smallest planet in our solar system? The answer is Mercury. Fun fact, Mercury is only slightly larger than our moon. Question number 10. The huge storm on Jupiter is called a Great Red what? The answer is Spot. Fun fact, the Great Red Spot is a storm bigger than Earth. Question number 11. Which planet is tilted on its side as it orbits the sun? The answer is Uranus. Fun fact, Uranus essentially rolls around the sun on its side. Question number 12. Which is the farthest planet from the sun? The answer is Neptune. Fun fact, Neptune takes about 165 Earth years to orbit once. Question number 13. What do we call a planet that orbits a star outside our solar system? The answer is an exoplanet. Fun fact, thousands of exoplanets have now been discovered. Question number 14. The rocky debris between Mars and Jupiter is called the what? The answer is asteroid belt. Fun fact: millions of asteroids orbit the sun in this belt. Question number 15. Pluto is now classified as what kind of object? The answer is a dwarf planet. Fun fact: Pluto shares its region with other dwarf planets. Question number 16. Which planet spins the fastest with a day under 11 hours? The answer is Jupiter. Fun fact: despite its size, Jupiter rotates remarkably quickly. Question number 17. Venus and Earth are often called what because of their similar size? The answer is twins. Fun fact: Venus is sometimes called Earth's sister planet. Question number 18. What is the second largest planet in the solar system? The answer is Saturn. Fun fact: Saturn is the ring giant, second only to Jupiter. Question number 19. Which planet has the tallest volcano in the solar system? Olympus Mons. The answer is Mars. Fun fact: Olympus Mons is about 3 times the height of Everest. Question number 20. What are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune collectively called? The answer is gas giants. Fun fact: they are huge worlds made mostly of gas and ice. Round 2. Stars and Galaxies. Suns, galaxies. Question number 21. Our sun is actually what kind of object? The answer is a star. Fun fact: the sun is an average-sized star, close enough to look huge. Question number 22. What galaxy do we live in? The answer is the Milky Way. Fun fact: our solar system sits in one arm of the Milky Way. Question number 23. A light year measures what? The answer is distance. Fun fact: it's the distance light travels in 1 year. Question number 24. What is a region of space where gravity is so strong even light can't escape? The answer is a black hole. Fun fact: black holes often form when massive stars collapse. Question number 25. A giant cloud of gas and dust where stars are born is called what? The answer is a nebula. Fun fact: nebulae are some of the most colorful sights in space. Question number 26. What is the name of the nearest star to Earth other than the Sun? The answer is Proxima Centauri. Fun fact: Proxima Centauri is just over 4 light years away. Question number 27. A pattern of stars forming a recognizable shape is called a what? The answer is a constellation. Fun fact: Orion and the Big Dipper are famous examples. Question number 28. The explosion of a dying massive star is called a what? The answer is a supernova. Fun fact, a supernova can briefly outshine an entire galaxy. Question number 29. Roughly how many stars are in the Milky Way? Hundreds of what? The answer is billions. Fun fact, estimates suggest 100 to 400 billion stars. Question number 30. The North Star, used for navigation, is also called what? The answer is Polaris. Fun fact, Polaris sits almost directly above Earth's North Pole. Question number 31. What color are the hottest stars? The answer is blue. Fun fact, cooler stars glow red, the hottest shine blue-white. Question number 32. Our nearest large galaxy neighbor is called what? The answer is Andromeda. Fun fact, Andromeda is on a slow collision course with the Milky Way. Question number 33. What do we call a group of millions or billions of stars bound by gravity? The answer is a galaxy. Fun fact, the universe holds billions of galaxies. Question number 34. The sun is mostly made of which two gases? The answer is hydrogen and helium. Fun fact, nuclear fusion of hydrogen powers the sun. Question number 35. Dark patches on the sun's surface are called what? The answer is sunspots. Fun fact, sunspots are cooler areas of intense magnetic activity. Question number 36. A spinning neutron star that beams out radiation is called a what? The answer is a pulsar. Fun fact, pulsars sweep beams like a cosmic lighthouse. Question number 37. The Milky Way is what shape of galaxy? The answer is spiral. Fun fact, we live in one of its sweeping spiral arms. Question number 38. Which famous nebula is found in the sword of the Orion constellation? The answer is the Orion Nebula. Fun fact, it's one of the few nebulae visible to the naked eye. Question number 39. How long does light from the sun take to reach Earth? The answer is about 8 minutes. Fun fact, sunlight crosses 150 million kilometers in roughly 8 minutes. Question number 40. The supermassive object at the center of our galaxy is a giant what? The answer is black hole. Fun fact, it's called Sagittarius A*, millions of times the sun's mass. Round 3. Space exploration. Rockets, rovers. Question number 41. Who was the first person to walk on the moon? The answer is Neil Armstrong. Fun fact, he stepped down in July 1969 during Apollo 11. Question number 42. What is the name of the U.S. space agency? answer is NASA. Fun fact, NASA was founded in 1958. Question number 43. What orbiting laboratory do astronauts live aboard today? The answer is the ISS. Fun fact, the International Space Station orbits about 400 kilometers up. Question number 44. Which famous telescope, launched in 1990, orbits Earth? The answer is Hubble. Fun fact, Hubble has sent back countless stunning images. Question number 45. What was the name of the first artificial satellite, launched in 1957? The answer is Sputnik. Fun fact, the Soviet Union's Sputnik 1 began the space age. Question number 46. Who was the first human to travel into space in 1961? The answer is Yuri Gagarin. Fun fact, Gagarin orbited Earth aboard Vostok 1. Question number 47. What kind of robotic vehicle has explored the surface of Mars? The answer is a rover. Fun fact, rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance roam the Martian surface. Question number 48. Which private company, founded by Elon Musk, builds reusable rockets? The answer is SpaceX. Fun fact, SpaceX's Falcon rockets land back on Earth to be reused. Question number 49. What do astronauts wear to survive outside a spacecraft? The answer is a spacesuit. Fun fact, spacesuits supply oxygen and protect against the vacuum. Question number 50. The Apollo program was designed to land humans on what? The answer is the moon. Fun fact, 6 Apollo missions landed astronauts on the moon. Question number 51. What powerful machine launches spacecraft into orbit? The answer is a rocket. Fun fact, rockets burn fuel to escape Earth's gravity. Question number 52. Which telescope, launched in 2021, is Hubble's powerful successor? The answer is James Webb. Fun fact, the James Webb Space Telescope sees deep in infrared. Question number 53. What do we call the suited people who travel into space? The answer is astronauts. Fun fact, Russia calls them cosmonauts. Question number 54. Roughly how long does the ISS take to orbit Earth once? The answer is about 90 minutes. Fun fact, astronauts see about 16 sunrises every day. Question number 55. Which 1969 mission first landed humans on the moon? The answer is Apollo 11. Fun fact, Armstrong and Aldrin walked while Collins orbited above. Question number 56. What is a rover's main job on another planet? The answer is to explore the surface. Fun fact, rovers gather samples, photos, and scientific data. Question number 57. What is the powerful burst of fire beneath a rocket at liftoff called? The answer is exhaust/thrust. Fun fact, burning fuel creates the thrust that lifts the rocket. Question number 58. A probe that flies past a planet without landing performs a what? The answer is flyby. Fun fact, Voyager probes made flybys of the outer planets. Question number 59. Which country, with the USSR, led the early space race? The answer is the United States. Fun fact, Cold War rivalry drove rapid space achievements. Question number 60. What protects a returning spacecraft from burning up in the atmosphere? The answer is a heat shield. Fun fact, re-entry friction creates extreme heat. Round 4. The Moon and Earth. Tides, phases. Question number 61. What causes the ocean tides on Earth? The answer is the Moon's gravity. Fun fact, the Moon's pull raises bulges of water on Earth. Question number 62. When a moon passes between the Sun and Earth, what occurs? The answer is a solar eclipse. Fun fact, the Moon briefly blocks the Sun's light. Question number 63. When Earth's shadow falls on the Moon, what occurs? The answer is a lunar eclipse. Fun fact, the Moon can glow red, a blood moon. Question number 64. How long does Earth take to spin once on its axis? The answer is about 24 hours. Fun fact, that spin gives us day and night. Question number 65. How long does Earth take to orbit the Sun once? The answer is about 365 days. Fun fact, one orbit is 1 year. Question number 66. The changing shapes of the Moon through the month are called its what? The answer is phases. Fun fact, from new moon to full moon and back. Question number 67. What is the Moon mostly covered in? The answer is craters and dust. Fun fact, impacts over billions of years left countless craters. Question number 68. Why does the same side of the Moon always face Earth? The answer is, it is tidally locked. Fun fact, the Moon rotates once for each orbit of Earth. Question number 69. What layer of gases surrounds and protects Earth? The answer is the atmosphere. Fun fact, it gives us air to breathe and shields us from radiation. Question number 70. What is Earth's only natural satellite? The answer is the moon. Fun fact, the moon is about a quarter of Earth's diameter. Question number 71. A bright full moon that looks larger near the horizon is sometimes called a what? The answer is supermoon. Fun fact, a supermoon occurs when a full moon is closest to Earth. Question number 72. What's the tilt of Earth's axis responsible for? The answer is the seasons. Fun fact, the tilt changes how directly sunlight hits each hemisphere. Question number 73. How far away is the moon from Earth, roughly? The answer is about 384,000 kilometers. Fun fact, light from the moon reaches us in about 1.3 seconds. Question number 74. During which moon phase can you not see the moon lit at all? The answer is new moon. Fun fact, at new moon, the lit side faces away from Earth. Question number 75. The footprints left by astronauts on the moon will last a very long time because there's no what? The answer is wind or water. Fun fact, with no weather, the prints could last millions of years. Question number 76. What is the bright, glowing band sometimes seen in polar skies caused by solar particles? The answer is the aurora. Fun fact, the aurora borealis lights up the northern skies. Question number 77. Earth is often nicknamed the what planet? For its oceans? The answer is blue planet. Fun fact, water covers about 71% of Earth's surface. Question number 78. What do we call the imaginary line around the middle of the Earth? The answer is the equator. Fun fact, it divides Earth into northern and southern hemispheres. Question number 79. Shooting stars are actually small bits of rock burning up in the what? The answer is atmosphere. Fun fact, friction with the air makes them glow. Question number 80. Which is bigger, the Earth or the moon? The answer is the Earth. Fun fact, about 50 moons could fit inside the Earth. Round 5. Deep space and beyond. Comets, black holes. Question number 81. A dirty snowball of ice and dust with a glowing tail is called a what? The answer is a comet. Fun fact, a comet's tail always points away from the sun. Question number 82. The leading theory for how the universe began is called the what? The answer is the Big Bang. Fun fact, it describes the universe expanding from a hot, dense start. Question number 83. A small rocky object orbiting the sun, mostly in the belt, is called in what? The answer is asteroid. Fun fact, some asteroids are hundreds of kilometers across. Question number 84. A piece of space rock that lands on Earth's surface is called a what? answer is a meteorite. Fun fact. In the sky, it's a meteor. On the ground, it's a meteorite. Question number 85. The universe is constantly doing what, according to astronomers? The answer is expanding. Fun fact. Galaxies are moving farther apart over time. Question number 86. The mysterious, invisible matter that holds galaxies together is called what? The answer is dark matter. Fun fact. We detect dark matter only by its gravity. Question number 87. How old is the universe, roughly? The answer is about 13.8 billion years. Fun fact, it has been expanding since the Big Bang. Question number 88. A famous comet visible from Earth about every 76 years is named after whom? The answer is Halley. Fun fact, Halley's comet last appeared in 1986. Question number 89. What is the bright, glowing head of a comet called? The answer is the coma. Fun fact, the coma is a cloud of gas and dust around a nucleus. Question number 90. A meteor shower happens when Earth passes through the debris left by a what? The answer is comet. Fun fact, the tiny particles burn up as shooting stars. Question number 91. The boundary around a black hole, beyond which nothing escapes, is called the what? The answer is event horizon. Fun fact, cross it, and not even light can return. Question number 92. What is the name for a planet-sized world that didn't clear its orbit, like Pluto? The answer is dwarf planet. Fun fact, Ceres and Eris are also dwarf planets. Question number 93. Astronomers search for life by looking for planets in the habitable what? The answer is zone. Fun fact, the habitable zone allows liquid water to exist. Question number 94. A massive explosion when two neutron stars collide is called a what? The answer is kilonova. Fun fact, such collisions forge heavy elements like gold. Question number 95. The faint leftover heat from the Big Bang is called a cosmic microwave. What? The answer is background. Fun fact, it fills the entire sky as a faint glow. Question number 96. What is a galaxy cluster? The answer is a group of galaxies. Fun fact, gravity binds thousands of galaxies together. Question number 97. An extremely bright, distant object powered by a giant black hole is called a what? The answer is quasar. Fun fact, quasars are among the brightest objects in the universe. Question number 98. The point of no return aside, what gets stretched into a long shape near a black hole? The answer is spaghettification. Fun fact: intense gravity would stretch objects like spaghetti. Question number 99. What unit do astronomers use for vast distances between stars? The answer is light years. Fun fact: 1 light year is about 9.5 trillion kilometers. Question number 100. Roughly how many galaxies are thought to exist in the universe? The answer is hundreds of billions or more. Fun fact: the observable universe is staggeringly vast. How many did you get right? Comment your score below and subscribe for more out-of-this-world challenges.